Hello. So, I'm going to talk about free plugins. Day 16! So, I make music, if you didn't know that. I've never spent a dime on a VST or a plugin or any sort of software instrument. Only things I've really paid for are physical hardware things, like a digital interface, a MIDI keyboard, microphone. Never spent a single ka-ching on a plugin. Yet, my music sounds so cool. How does that work? Well, funny you ask that. Because a lot of it comes down to mixing. That's the thing I've learned. I still haven't been making music for that long. I've been releasing music for 3-ish years, maybe. Kind of around that time. And having 3 years kind of being locked in on music, because if you listen to my early stuff, it is booty. I've deleted half of it. It was cheeks, disgusting, disgraceful. But now I think my music's pretty good, in my opinion. Like, humbly, I think my music's pretty decent. And that is down to mixing and sound choice and samples and stuff like that. Because the main instrument I used in a lot of my recent music is an electric piano. I use the Lazy Snake VST a lot of the time. And that on its own, to be fair, doesn't need much mixing. It's quite a nice electric piano sound, quite smooth, quite chill. But then with drums is the main thing that I'm going to talk about. Because drums on free VSTs can sound cheeks, they can sound rubbish. Which could be down to mixing, but also it's just the sound choice most of the time. There's only so much you can do with rubbish drum sounds. So a lot of the time I just use like one-shot samples and stuff like that from Sample Focus, which is a free sample website place thing. And they got some pretty good stuff. I think it's all community-made stuff, and there's some really cool sounds in there for drums. And I tend not to use loops too much because I like to make it my own as much as I can. Because I have nothing against people who use samples. I think samples have built many genres, and people who say sample, like using samples as a music, it's just not true. But I try not to use samples as much as I can to try and have it almost customized to what I want it to be to the highest extent as I can in the situation. So the only samples I tend to use are one-shot samples, stuff like that. But with melody, the Surge Synth VST, very good VST, and free, of course. And yeah, I have not paid a single bit, and you don't need to either. You can if you want to get certain things. When I get the money, I probably will, but for the time being, not a dime. Inspirational message to end the video.